Welcome to an on-the-road episode of Let's Address This with Gaza and Rashid. I'm in Michigan this week to talk to some of the leading candidates for U.S. Senate and Congress, and right now I'm speaking with William Lawrence, running for Congress in the 7th District of Michigan. Thanks for giving us a few minutes.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here.
I always ask this question as a very first question, your superhero origin story. What should people know about you that made you decide, you know what, this sucks, and I'm going to make it better by running for Congress?
Yeah. Well, I've been an organizer for my whole life. I was very focused on climate justice, healthy environment, green jobs for about 12 years of my life. Started out as a student organizer. I became a co-founder of the Sunrise Movement, which popularized the Green New Deal and worked to pass the Inflation Reduction Act under President Biden, the largest investment in green jobs and infrastructure in U.S. history. But I saw in D.C. how when we were fighting for Medicare for all and $100 billion for green housing and so many other necessary provisions as part of the Green New Deal and Build Back Better, folks in party leadership said, oh, well, that's not what people in frontline swing districts want. What they want is more tax cuts for billionaires and more wars around the world and for everything else to stay the same, which is obviously crap.
Right.
But we've got to win in these tough districts to prove that it's crap. So now I'm running in my hometown in the Lansing area, Michigan's 7th District, which is one of those swing districts. And I'm working to prove that a progressive, populist message can win in Lansing, Michigan.
Yeah, let's talk about that because you've been endorsed by Bernie Sanders, by AOC. By AOC, I don't know.
Not yet.
Not yet. Ro Khanna.
And
Rep Rashida Tlaib.
That's right.
So you've got the progressive chops to demonstrate that you've kind of walked the walk. What do you say to the people that say, hey, this is a purple district. If we run on these progressive values, we're going to lose it to Republicans?
Yeah. Well, I hear the same thing, whether I'm talking to a former Trump voter or whether I'm talking to an 18-year-old who's deciding whether they're going to vote for the first time, right? I say, look, I feel unrepresented by both of these parties. We've been let down way too many times by Republicans and Democrats in leadership. And I think we need to be investing in the people of Michigan so that we can all have the housing and the health care that we deserve and not be spending more money to start a stupid and unnecessary war with Iran, which has done nothing but create more enemies and raise the cost of gas, or giving money to Israel to invade Lebanon or commit a genocide in Gaza. That's a popular message, whether you're, again, a young voter deciding whether you're going to vote or not, or Republican voters who believed Trump when he said, we're not going to start any more wars, and now they are feeling deeply let down.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the message that resonates, right? I mean, whether you're right or left, the idea that our tax dollars are being used to bomb children overseas as opposed to fund public education or feed our children here is just an insane dichotomy, and I'm glad you're pointing that out. You're still in the primary. You're up against two basically corporate Democrats. How are you contrasting yourself to the message that they're selling voters in this primary election?
Yeah, I'm here to represent the people of my district, and that's an easy thing for me to do because I was raised and rooted in this district, and it's where I've chosen to continue my life as an adult. My two competitors are moving into the district for the sake of trying to buy it, essentially. They're funded by Silicon Valley and Wall Street and health insurance executives. They've taken millions and millions of dollars from them, but I've actually outraised them from the voters of the 7th District. I've raised more than the two of them put together. So I'm showing that what people really want is somebody who's local, who's authentic, who's willing to listen to the issues that people actually care about and then reflect them back and work to serve the whole community.
I want to double down on that point because we often talk about getting corporate money out of politics and how sick we are of politicians funded by these major corporations. So not only are you people funded, but you have more donations from people in the district than both your opponents combined.
That's right.
How did you do that? Because that's a pretty cool thing to do.
Yeah, well, it starts from all the friends and family that I know from growing up and just being there, folks I grew up going to church with, folks my parents know, and it's continued through just dozens and dozens of house parties and backyard barbecues and benefit concerts and fun grassroots fundraising events over the course of the campaign. We've done probably 50 of them since last September, and we're going to keep doing a lot more as we move through this summer.
Yeah, talk about shaking down every friend you know for that final favor.
Yeah, you know, raising money is definitely not the most fun thing about running for office, but I tell you, when it is in relationship with people that I actually know, I find that to be the best part of it. It's a lot more enjoyable than just cold calling people who I haven't met before.
What do you think is going to be your strongest argument once you get pass a primary to convince Michiganders that it's time to vote for these values that you're running on?
Just look, if you want things to stay the same, you've got plenty of options. You've got 2 options in this Democratic primary and 1 more on the Republican side. But if you want change, if you want to stop funding these wars abroad and invest in good housing and healthcare for the people of Michigan, I'm your guy. If you think that we need another DC insider to come and tell us what we need, you've got several other options. But if you want a representative of mid-Michigan to send to DC, then I'm your guy.
William Lawrence, running for Congress in the 7th District of Michigan. Where can folks go to learn more about you, your campaign, all that good stuff?
Yeah, our website is wewill2026.com, and you can find me there on all of the social channels at wewill2026, and on Insta, we're wewill2026mi. So thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, and if you can, throw in a donation so that we can flip this swing district and send a representative of mid-Michigan to Washington, D.C.
And as my promise is, I don't ask you guys to donate unless I donate myself, so I will be donating as soon as we finish up this conversation. William, thank you for running, man. Let's hope we get you across this finish line and then win in November.
Thank you. Let's do it.